Dark Satellite Media.
You're listening to the Everyone But Us podcast, straight from the heart of London.
Lovely jubbly. What is happening, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Everyone But Us podcast. My name's Lewis, and of course, I'm joined by my regular hosts, Steve BDF and Wemma Knuckledust. What's happening, gentlemen?
No, I haven't been too bad. I mean, I've been a bit laid up with a bad back. I've done something to my back. But other than that, I'm good.
Steve, what about you? How you been doing, mate?
Good, mate. Yeah. I've been in the wars myself this week. Monday on last week, I just fucking woke up in the morning at about 6 o'clock, proper crippling stomach pain. It wouldn't go away. It turns out fucking stomach ulcer. Had to go to hospital, had morphine and all this kind of shit.
Did you have a 1,000-mile stare like a Vietnam soldier, man? Man,
nah, they only give me the fucking Oromorph.
Oromorph? Oh, what's that? Is that like the Ribena version?
Yeah. It's all right, though.
Mate, I'd fucking take that straight up. I'm not no druggie, but morphine's where is that?
Morphine is nice, man.
I've never had it.
You're missing out, mate.
The thing is, you don't want to get to a state where you need to take morphine, but fucking hell, man. Like, and it goes in there and you're just like, and you feel it going around your body. You're like, oh, shit, boy.
Wow, this is an advert for heroin, man. Shit. What have we done? This is like, just saying.
I might have to cut that bit out.
Have you got any morphine, man? I'll suck your dick. Zamo! We've got Zamo over there.
Great.
No one's going to remember Zamo. That's too long ago. Anyway.
What? I was going to cut that whole thing out. No, I've been fine, mate. Yeah. Nice week. Had a nice week, yeah.
Well, I'll just quickly say what I've been up to. I've just been at home. Obviously, we're back on lockdown. I had a week off, and I'm going to have a further 2 weeks off, I think, because of obviously the furlough and shit. But I've just been chilling at home, doing a couple of bits here and there. Nothing exciting. No bad stomachache, no bad back. Just plenty of snacks and watching YouTube, fucking Call of Duty and that, like a sado. Anyway, I want to start off by saying a massive thank you to our next two guests who we've got on. People who are listening to this will be familiar with a band that burst onto the scene. It's been 2 years now the band has been around. The first I saw of them, they dropped like a little teaser on one of those UK hardcore pages and everyone was like, who the fuck's this? Like they just came out of fucking nowhere. And to be fair, they've gone from strength to strength. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the infamous Street Soldier.
Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, and I'm going to introduce, they can introduce themselves. So we've got the vocalist. Introduce yourself, mate.
Yo, man. It's Scotty, man, from Street Soldier. All good, man. All good. Thanks for having us, man. Like I say, it's should have been happening a couple of months ago, but I'm happy to be with you guys now, man. So I appreciate having us.
That's all good, mate. I'm glad that we've finally managed to lock down obviously this interview, so appreciate it, mate. And of course, we've got the guitarist, the guitar wizard. Do you want to introduce yourself, mate?
I am Ollie, play guitar in Street Soldier. Thanks for having us on, lads. Really appreciate it.
Welcome. Can I just say, Ollie and Steve actually look like brothers.
Yeah, I know. Looking down at the thing, yeah, I see. Looking down at the thing.
What is it? Because we're white?
Yeah,
that as well. And you got beards.
Can't stand the fucking abuse I get on this podcast.
That's it. So yeah, just want to get straight into it. Like, obviously, how did Street Soldier come about? And was you in different bands before starting this at all?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep this as short as I can for your benefit, man. So yeah, me and Laurie used to be in a thrash band called Wasted Days.
Okay. Played
a handful of shows. Kind of like, Slayer, a little bit like old school Beastie Boys influence kind of shit. That kind of fucked up in 2012 and we kind of went our separate ways. But we've been writing together ever since, just me and Laurie.
All right.
I had like so many riffs and songs written, man. It got to the point where I kind of just wanted to put out a hardcore record, man. So I was like, fuck it. Me and Laurie will record some shit and we'll just put out that 3-track EP, man. And that was meant to be it. No shows were going to happen. It was just me and Laurie recording it, putting it out. There you go.
So that 3-track EP we're talking about was One Man Gang. Is that what you're talking about?
It was, man. Yeah. And like the cringy fucking promo was that was.
I think that's the thing that kicked it off, man. Really.
That's it, mate.
It did, yeah.
Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about it later on, but that's the thing. As women said, it kicks it all off, and it made people take notice. Whether people liked it or they didn't like it, people took notice of it.
That's
it. So, Ollie, how did you manage to get involved with the Street Soldier thing?
Well, I worked with Laurie at Gear for Music. They have their sort of base in York, where we're from. And well, I I've always been known around the city for playing in like metal bands anyway. And yeah, he just came up to me and was like, "Oh, me and Scott are doing this thing. We want to get you involved. Listen to it, see what you think." I listened to it, and I'm not gonna lie, lads. Like, I didn't know what to think of it when I first heard it. But
what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that?
I'm not. Well, I'm more adversed in it now, but at the time, I wasn't really that knowledgeable on hardcore or anything like that. I was a metal guy. I played metal, death metal, deathcore, that type of thing, and I just thought it sounded really odd, but also really unique, and the guitars were really heavy, so I just thought, why not?
So, Scott, did you write all the riffs then for the first EP?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I had those riffs like I'm always writing riffs, man. That's just how it was, and I just had a load, and I was just like, this is a waste, man. You know what I mean? I need to do something with it, and just pulling my finger out my ass and doing it, man. That was it.
You could play drums as well, or was it just?
I can play drums, not very well, but I can play them.
I interject here.
No, go on. Of course you can.
Hey, don't say what I think you're going to say.
Yeah. There's a video somewhere of Scotty playing drums for Street Soldier in Liège, and it's the worst thing you've ever heard in your life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, none of you are going to get to see it.
Release it. When you was writing them riffs, like, what was your influence at the time? Like, what style was you trying to?
There's so many bands, man, that I could list, but mainly Biohazard. I fucking love them, man. But I there were one band that I'd never bothered properly listening to, man, even though I was banging to hardcore. And I'd fucking started listening to them. What track was it? Tales from a Hard Side. And I was just like...
I can hear that in your music.
I was like, man, this is so sick. Why have I never listened to them? I was like, I've wasted so many years not listening to them. And then, so I was listening to a lot of them. Hatebreed, obviously, more than new stuff, to be honest. I know a lot of people, diehard fans, like prefer like Satisfaction and all that stuff. But, Rise of Brutality and stuff like that, I was listening to that a lot.
That's a great track.
Yeah, man. And then I was listening to like a lot of New York I like New York hardcore, not like the Outburst kind of stuff, but more like Vietnam kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like the like heavier rappy kind of influence stuff, man. It was just a combination of that. And then, but like I say, I listened to a lot of old school Beastie Boys, like Same Old Bullshit, like the first EP they brought out when they were kind of hardcore bands, Bad Brains. Even though you probably can't hear a lot of Bad Brains in it, I mean, there's a lot of influence there, and just a fucking mixture of everything, man. Really. I'm also a really important factor is Gassed Up. Gassed Up, their first EP. Like my mate Dan, the vocalist, obviously at the time I've only met him through Street Soldier, but I was blown away with that EP, man. I loved it, and that was a very big. I was like, man, is there more of this shit going on? Because I need to check it out. I need to I need to have some input in this shit. So that was it, basically.
Yeah, I remember Gassed Up played a show down in London one time. No one really knew who they were at the time, but a lot of people were definitely into them. When did you decide that you was going to take it to like a next level and actually get band members?
We didn't think it was going to go anywhere else. Like I said, it was just to put out a record, man, and that was it. But then I got a message from, you'll know, a Mog, who was from London. She messaged me. And because, mate, we got so much hate for that video for Bully Bosher. I thought she was taking the piss. She messaged me and she was like, I'm putting on a show. I want you guys to play. I'm like, mate, there's only two of us. We are a band. And she was like, no, you need to play, man. We'll put you on like main support for Shattered Realm. I'm like, are you fucking
foundation
pulling my pisser? Like, what? I was like, she's been through. I was like, mate, we haven't got any band members. She's like, no, man, you just like do a set yourself. I'm like, I ain't no MC. I'm not gonna do a backing track like vocals over it. So then I was like, fuck, we need to get a band together. That's when we kind of got in touch with Ollie, because we knew Ollie could shred, and Cam came, I mean, Ollie can probably explain this to you later, but Cam came in a little bit later. That was in February, I think. He played his first show at a Manchester show. Before that, we just had filling bass players, really. And it was a really last-minute thing, man. I mean, they're not really the most complex songs to learn anyway, especially for a good guitarist like Ollie. So it was like a month or two before that show, we were just like, let's fucking get a band together. And then it just went from there, man, really.
How did you gauge the early reaction and reception? Did you take it
man,
pretty well?
To be honest, it was when I watched all the footage back, man, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but when you're playing a show, man, I kind of like forget what's happening. I'm just in the moment and you don't realise what's going on. I watched it back and all these people are fucking like chanting our shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I was stoked, man. And I think that's what probably boosted us to, write another record. Because we actually put the second record out, Hard Mentality, 2 months after. So we were just fucking straight back writing out. We need to put some more shit out. Because we can't go playing shows with 3 songs, do you know what I mean? Let's make it
no doubt, like.
Talk about that first promo release.
Mate, do you know what? There was so much fucking hate, mate. It was just fucking internet shit talkers, mate, just chatting bare shit, just like trying to get one up on people and shit. And I took like offense to it, mate. I took it personally, like, do you know what I mean? I was like, who the fuck can offend me? I'm talking shit about it, you know what I mean? But then, like, no, it's just funny, man. I like it when people hate on shit now, man. It's funny, do you know what I mean?
I like to pick the hate comments out.
Yeah. Johnny, our we call him our 5th member because he literally does like a lot of shit for us, man. Drives us everywhere, etc. Films us and stuff. He was going to put together like a compilation of all the fucking insults, but I think at the end it just turned out to be too many, so we fucked it off.
Make it into a feature film.
Yeah, there's some fucking funny ones, mate. Honestly, I'll try to get him to put them together, mate. They're fucking hilarious, though, man. I was getting a lot of hate for my fucking Simmer Rip skinhead moon stomp top I was wearing. You know, like you can see it in the clip. I was getting so much fucking hate from people. I was getting bare abuse from like skinheads and people on there saying, "Who the fuck do you think he is wearing that shit?" I'm like, mate, I've been listening to this for like 20 years, man. You know what I mean? Like, just
because you dress a certain way doesn't mean you can't not listen to different types of music, and it's just weird. Like,
and that's what I love about hardcore, man. Do you know what I mean? Everyone dresses like that. Like, the first 2 records I bought, hardcore-wise, was Bad Brains and Minor Threat because of how they look. They just dress like fucking, like they didn't give a fuck, do you know what I mean? And that's kind of one thing that interested me in it, man, to be honest.
Obviously, we don't dwell too much on it, but obviously that initial promo, it ended up on that fucking channel on Facebook, that Catatonic Youth, didn't it? Like, what did you think? It blew you up even further as well, let's be real.
That one was, I'd followed that channel, page on Facebook for like ages, and I was thinking, like, man, if I could like get him to see it, I know they'll put it on there because they're gonna think it's gonna be like cringe as hell. So I tagged them, and finally, just one day when I was at work, just saw it, and then it was another video with 200,000 views on it. So
so you instigated it.
Yeah.
That's real.
So just it's free promotion, isn't it?
Check out the new podcast from Essex, Then and Now, featuring interviews with the Deaf Skulls, Point Down, Understand, and Special Move, with much, much more to follow. Check out their Facebook page to find out more.
One Man Gang. Let's talk about a couple of the tracks and that. Like, there's one particular song that I do want to talk about, which is on One Man Gang, and there's a line in it that I think is probably one of the hardest lines that's come out in a long time, and it's talk shit about colour and race, step up and get clapped in the face.
Clap them face, clap them face. Clap them face, 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 clap them face.
For me, it's the dialect and the regional accent, which I think makes that so good as well. Like, because people respect people who talk in their regional slang and how they are. Like, because if you're from York, or that's obviously where you guys are from, and you're going to be talking like a London accent or a fucking American accent, it just doesn't come across sincere. But what can you tell us about the lyrics and obviously using sort of like mannerisms, colloquialisms?
I think me personally, when I'm listening to songs, mate, especially when I'm listening to a UK band, I fucking despise it when they're singing in American accent, bro. I do not like it. Just rep what you are, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm from Yorkshire, man. My accent might be a bit cringy, but fuck it, I don't give a shit, man.
I love that, man. Mad respect for that.
Well, I don't want to sound like some fanboy, but I fucking loved it, mate. Like, just hear, like, I always love hearing, like, even bands from Germany or whatever, they speak in their native tongue. It's like, that's if your first language isn't something that people are used to, or you are from a certain part of the UK which has got a different twang or slang in that, like, use that. Like, you got to rep that. That's where you're from.
Do you know what as well, man? I was a lot of people, so many people come up to me, bro, who don't even like that music. I mean, I'm talking like just people at the gym, random people who I wouldn't have thought would have listened to it, and have said, look, man, I've heard your shit, and like, I'm not really into that stuff, but I respect like your accent in it and stuff like that.
For me, that was the first time I've ever heard like a Yorkshire accent, like, in a song like that. and I thought it sounded unique. I really loved it, man.
Like I said, man, I give credit to Dan Crossley from Gassed Up, man, because if it wasn't for listening to him like put his shit down, man, I probably wouldn't have been doing it like that. So yeah, respect to him.
So moving along, and as you mentioned, you put out your second release, Hard Mentality, around about the same time that you done that Foundations Fest. Was that once again yourself, Scott, and Laurie doing that together, or was that the whole band as well who put that second release together? So
it kind of grew in a sense of So basically, this is the way it works with writing the riffs. So I'll kind of get a rough idea of the riffs and the structure of the tracks. I'll then go to Laurie's house. Laurie will then like record it because I'm shit with technology, bro. I'll just write the riffs and that. He'll record it, and then we'll kind of send the ideas through on like a group chat so Cam and Ollie can hear it. They'll have their input onto it, and then we'll spend fucking weeks and weeks listening to it over and over again, picking out bits, and then it'll just naturally grow into the final thing. But you never want to overdo it because it ends up sounding shit. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to kind of find that middle ground of getting it just right.
It seems to be, obviously you put out 3 EPs all with 3 tracks. Was that something that was just you thought would just be easier just for people to digest the tunes rather than say doing like a 5-track EP then coming out of an album afterwards?
I think it's more of a case of, because we brought out a 3-track EP at the start, it was a case of we need 3 more songs so people can hear it so we can play live to them. And then we thought, well, we've got 2 EPs of 3 tracks. Let's make it a trilogy, like 3 EPs with 3 tracks on. And then we'll kind of step it up and either do an album or another EP with like maybe a few more tracks on it. So I think it was just a case of 3 EPs with 3 tracks on it, really. That was our mentality around it.
Kind of a good way to start off as well, to be fair, isn't it? Because as you're building your sound a little bit as well at the start, and like building your audience, although your audience was built fucking pretty quickly, man, because of that promo, but like a good way to do it, man.
I listen to a lot of like music podcasts, and a lot of people are now saying that it's not really good to it is good to do an album, but it's also good. The way people listen to music, it's good to stagger it. So you put it out, people get into it, and then leave it for a bit, then you drop some more tracks, and you just keep the momentum going. Because the way people listen to music now, they'll hear something, they'll love it, and then they'll on to the next thing within like a month or something.
Exactly right, man. Exactly. I agree with you there, man, completely. I think, like with me personally, I prefer listening to EPs so I can digest it a lot better than listening to like a 10-track album whereby I'm spending all my time listening to just 3 tracks rather than 10 tracks, digesting them, and then that's my mentality, and I prefer it that way anyway myself.
It's just a great way of staggering it and keeping the hype going and things like that, and just constantly releasing new music. It's just the best way to do it.
So then just finally we'll talk about the last release, which was Northern Hate, and that came out in 2019, and that was obviously to round off the trilogy, almost like it's a Star Wars or Indiana Jones or some sort of type of shit. Did you, by then, obviously you're doing the band and you're playing more shows than that. Had you toured by then, or had done any weekends or anything at all?
With that one, just before Northern Hate dropped, we did our first proper tour with Annotation of an Autopsy for their comeback tour. And then literally the weekend straight after that, when it did drop, we did another weekender with a German band called Spawn of Disgust. But we've been doing weekenders and like festivals, one-off shows, not so much like what you would class as like conventional touring, but we've been playing everywhere we can. And well, obviously we can't do it now, but it just kept going from strength to strength.
Weekenders are probably the only thing that, it's not the only thing, but obviously people have jobs and stuff that they need to do. So it's hard to keep everything circling around it. So weekenders are pretty much the tours that people can and are able to do. Like, and off the back of weekenders, that's how you get more people following your band, and you can be able to sell some merch and stuff like that. But obviously, as you said, you've done how many dates was this tour? Was it like 5 days or something?
This was like 4 weekends on the trot. So it was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And next week, same again, and next week, same again.
And obviously, you mentioned that it was with the band Annotations of Autopsy. Was it kind of like a privilege to be on tour with this particular band? Because I know they were pretty big back in the mid 2000s and that. Like,
yeah, they were like my jam growing up. Like, it was one of like my dream bands to ever go on tour with. So it was a massive, massive thing for me. And now, like, well, I just sort of play Xbox with them and stuff. Like, it's weird how things work out, man.
I went to Scott, man. Scott, what's your lyrics about? Names like Nonce Killer.
What's Nonce Killer about?
I mean, it's just a title. I love the title. It's straight to the point. You know what I'm saying?
that the nonce killer just came from. I'm literally just binge watching YouTube videos of like the
nonces.
Like nonces getting captured by whatever you call them. Like
what's that guy?
Oh fuck! To catch a predator, man. I'm Chris.
Yeah, that's him.
There's a dude called Shane Brannigan who does like UK. He's quite well known for doing like UK nonce things, and it's literally fucking binge watching those, mate. And that's just where it came from, bro.
Oh god, yeah, I used to watch the videos all the time on YouTube. And there was that one particular one that circulated of the guy with glasses, and it was like a meme. They made a song out of it as well.
I think I know it. I've seen so many of them, mate. I think I know which one you mean. Yeah.
The one Ollie's talking about is the guy's going, I'm going to lose my job.
Is that the bald ones?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, right. Just when you get a chance, watch Bald Nonce Best Clips, man. It is the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life, bro. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So moving away from nonce talk, Scott, you've done quite a few features with a lot of bands in that.
Yeah, I need to fucking stop that, really, man.
It's between you and Pierre for the most features.
I have, man. Yeah. What was the first feature I fucking did? Ollie, you might have to help me out on this one, bro. Can you remember?
First feature you did was
it?
No, was it Pint Glass?
It was Annotations, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Annotations.
Yeah, it was Annotation and Autopsy. Yeah.
I think that's my favourite lyrical content I've put out. I think, man. Yeah, definitely. Fucking hell, Malign, Pint Glass. We've got a couple of others that I've done in the pipeline that are waiting to come out, but I think you're just waiting for this lockdown shit to finish.
That's fair enough.
Man, I can't even remember. Birth Struggle Death as well. I did. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're I want to say German.
They're German band or American.
They're fucking sick.
Everyone but us. Straight from the heart of London.
You got a tune Bully Basher. Was that something that ever happened to you growing up, or people that you knew of that would get bullied and stuff?
Yeah, fully, man. Like when believe it or not, mate, when I was younger, I was I'm completely different, mate, to what I am now. I was like about 9 stone. I was scrawny as fuck. Could not look, couldn't look out for myself. Couldn't fight, etc. And I was just an easy target, mate. Do you know what I mean? I didn't get bullied, like extremely bullied, but I didn't react well to it, if that makes sense. And I've just held a grudge against cunts like that.
9 stone? You said 9 stone?
At my latest, I've probably been 9 stone. As a kid, I was quite a chubby kid, but then I started, like, my childhood was skateboarding, mate. Like, that was skateboarding every fucking day from when I was like 13 to like 18. And the weight just fucking dropped off me, bro. And so I was just a scrawny cunt, really. And then I wanted to get bigger, then just fucking started eating loads. And then
you too much. But you're really into the weightlifting and stuff, right?
Yeah, man, definitely. So I shot up actually from like 12 stone to 16 stone in a matter of like a year, probably. And then it just became an obsession, mate. But it's a healthy obsession. Do you know what I mean? So, So it literally changed my life going to the gym, man. Definitely.
So let's have a little delve into the music videos that you did. The first one was more or less not on the same production levels as the latest ones that you put out, but One Man Gang. Who put that particular video together?
We mentioned before Johnny put that together. He's a videographer, and he basically went around filming shows for first probably maybe 6 months of us playing shows, and just to get the crazy sort of reactions that we were getting. And then he put that together and we released it just before we went on tour with Annotations.
So the second videos that come out, is 2 brand new tracks. So we got the first one, which was So Sickening, and then the latest one, which has come out, which is Turn Dangerous. What was the idea behind doing So Sickening and obviously Turn Dangerous? So
Sickening, to be honest, it was... So the image I had in my head, have you ever seen a video by the Beastie Boys called What You Want?
Yeah,
they're in like a forest, and like it's basically a rip off of that, mate. I'm obviously repping my Beastie Boys top, so it's it was supposed to have that effect. Because I fucking love that video, and I was like, that's just gonna look so cool with some heavy shit behind it, and that's literally it, mate. That was the mentality behind it.
Yeah, the walking and a couple of slow-mo shots in there.
Yeah, if you look at the beginning where Laurie, I was like, I was forcing Laurie to do that jump at the beginning, because if you look at the he wrecked his foot, man, so his foot's not exactly the best as it is, do you know what I mean? And it was just a rip-off of that video, mate, that as simple as that, really.
And Turn Dangerous, obviously, it was filled. I remember you put out a post saying, "Oh, can anyone borrow us their dogs for the afternoon?" Like, because we want to do some filming and stuff like. So
originally, Turn Dangerous was going to be a completely different video, but coronavirus and lockdown fucked that completely. So we had to quickly change our mindset, so obviously to not kind of like go on and stuff. But the song's pretty much about abandonment. Because it's about my mum basically fucking off when I was born, and my grandparents brought me up, etc., etc. So the lyrics, that's probably our deepest song actually. So that's what the lyrical content is about. So we had to kind of come up with this idea for a video last minute, and we were going to go to a dog's home and film dogs there, because abandonment, dog's home, we link the two together.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to give them, give a donation, etc., etc., for letting us do it. Couldn't really find anyone to do it last minute because of the restrictions, because of lockdown and coronavirus and stuff. So my brother's best mate runs a dog security company, does like festivals and stuff and trains police dogs. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just have a word with him. And he was like, yeah, come down to a training ground and get some footage and stuff. So it just escalated to that, really. And that shot at the beginning of that fucking massive cunt of a dog at the beginning, that's just my next door neighbour.
Yeah.
I've never spoke to. I was just like, yo, your dog's huge, man. Can we film it? She's like, yeah, do it. She's like, she was like, what kind of music is that? I was like, it's a bit punk. She's like, I used to be a punk. Like, turns out she used to be a street punk back in the day. It was sick. She's like, yeah, film my dog. So we're just I used to be like, I grew up like on street punk and stuff as well. So it just turned out, that's how it turned out, bro.
it's actually a really, like, the actual video itself is really good. Like, just the tune itself though is fucking hard, man. I gotta say, probably, like, in terms of progression as the band, I think it's probably your best track that you've done. Like, it just sounds a lot different, especially the opening bass lines as well. Like, it's different, man. So fair play to you on that, man. I was like taken back and well surprised. I was like, yeah, this band is actually doing things in their own way. Like,
No, I was just going to say, we're just trying to fucking blend as many musical styles together as we can, really, mate. That's really how that song is turned out, really. The beginning bit was like, we wanted to put like a little bit of like a gangster rap kind of feel, that bass line, do you know what I mean? And then it just blasted into like kind of like death metal and shit. So yeah.
No, it worked out well.
that's it. I wanted to just quick, before we get on to Drill Sergeant, I wanted to mention about you had a video, but it never came out in the end for Nonce Killer. Was there a reason why the video never come out? Did it not come across well or something, or was there any issues? Or
We weren't really happy with the acting in it. We thought it was really sort of cringy, and we didn't get the right nonce, and it was just a bit, it was just all a bit crap, to be honest. So we ended up using it for just like a little 30-second promo thing.
the promo actually fucking looked really good. Just the way you turn up with the geezer's ass, like, he answers it, and you're talking to him, and then your drill sergeant's doing his fucking face fucking shit, and then you put him in the boot, and like you drive off, and there's the shot with the drone, and it goes over the top of the car. That was fucking, like, in terms of cinematography, like, that bit was
Johnny's a really, really like innovative guy when it comes to filming and stuff like that. So he always has these like crazy ideas and things to do. And we just went out to the North Yorkshire Moors, but the thing is, there would have been more than that, but we shot it in like the middle of winter, so it got dark at like 4:00. So we got like maybe 5 hours of filming done in that day, and then I don't know, it just kind of all sort of fizzled out a bit, and we started working on new music, and it didn't really seem like it was relevant enough to release it anymore, and we just kind of thought that, and then, well, we managed to convince Scott to put it out for that promo. He didn't want to put it out.
I think another thing is, at that point, I don't know if you noticed, but we didn't have a bass player, and to me, I was like, and then Cam had joined, and it was like, do we finish off doing the Nonce Killer video, or do we just leave it with no bass player throughout the whole thing? Do you know what I mean? So we kind of just put a halt on it, really.
Who was acting as the nonce then? Someone you knew? Or?
I'll let you tell that one. Like, yeah, go on.
Tell you a story, man.
Go on, man.
Wait. Did you find a real nonce?
No.
He's still in the boot.
No, it's actually Pringles, our merch guy.
Right.
But it's so he came to work at Gear for Music as well, and he's just a really enthusiastic, lovely kid. You know what I mean? Like, just wants to get involved, and he was like, "Oh, do you ever need like driving to shows, or do you need someone to do merch? Like, I'll like help you out." I'm like, "Yeah, man, thank you. I'll keep that in mind." And then we had this guy who did look a bit like a nonce to be the nonce in the video, and then he pulled out last minute. So I was like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" And then I just went to Ben. I was like, "Ben, do you want to be in a music video?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then I told him in the car what he was doing as we were driving to it.
The funniest thing about that, bro, is the fact that like he did know that he was going to be a nonce, but he didn't know what a nonce was.
Yeah, that's it.
He didn't know until he was out, because it was filmed at my house, and he didn't know what a nonce was until like 5 minutes before we shot it, and his face, mate, dropped.
Oh my God. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy when like people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, you're the nonce in that video."
You're the street soldier.
You don't want to be that guy, do you?
No, not at all.
From London's very own Ironed Out comes the brand new album, We Move as One. Featuring Pavement Strong, Pagans, Crazy Old World and a re-recorded version of ACAB, We Move as One is a 12-track dose of reality straight from the Big Smoke. Down for Life magazine calls it some of the most interesting and exciting music in hardcore right now. Pick up your copy on CD or crystal clear vinyl from the Ironed Out Big Cartel, from gsrmusic.com or from ruction.com.
Laurie, drill sergeant, the drummer in your band. He seems to be a very he seems to be a very enthusiastic and sort of like fun person to be around. So
he is he? He's one of a kind, mate. I wish we could have got him on today, to be honest, mate. But yeah, he's nuts. And do you know what? He's fucking talented, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's like very, very talented drummer, man. Really, really, really fucking talented. But yeah, he's just fucking nuts, bro. He's not like the drill sergeant persona all the time. He's not like mental like that. But it's when he steps out of that fucking van at a show, mate, it's like boom, and he's on it, mate. He's fucking on it all night long.
That's it. Because I mean, I know a lot of people when they watch the videos, you just see this geezer just pulling these smirks and just wagging his finger all the time, like, and just shouting in the background, like, and it's just like.
Is that become a thing now? Like, for every video you do, does he have to do that face?
Just for me, I let him do his own thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just the fucking finger waggling, mate. It's his trade, man.
He has to do it, man.
What was that ring that he was wearing? The ring as well in the video.
Oh, the gold one.
So sick. Yeah, the gold one. What's it say on it?
Time, I think. Yeah, mate, I haven't got a fucking clue, bro.
Who fucking knows, man?
So, Ollie, did you meet Laurie through the band then?
No, I've known Laurie from when he was in Scott's old band, Wasted Days.
Okay.
I was actually the first band I ever went to see in York when I moved here. Was Wasted Days, and I got kicked out for underage drinking. I knew him through that, and then we just sort of worked together for about 3 years, and then it started off. Yeah.
Do you know what I like about your band? It's like your band is hard, but at the same time, it's fun. I don't think that makes sense. Like
that. No, that makes complete sense, man. We're all really nice guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We love to have fun and.
Well, do you think people have a perception that like you walk around with chains
100%
and knuckle dusters on? And
as well, that people in York who don't know Scott think Scott's like an absolute nutter. he's the nicest guy in the world, honestly.
So that leads me through to talk about your latest release that's going to be coming out on one of the longest running record labels in the UK, Ruction. How did that come about? Who spoke to who first? Like,
fuck, man, how did that come about? So I think we were just kind of working out how we were going to put it out. So originally, before like coronavirus and whatnot, we were due to, looking at putting out, I think, was it June or July, Ollie, originally?
Yeah.
But like, luckily for us, man, we were really lucky in a sense of we got everything recorded and finished in February or March, just before the lockdown restrictions. So we had it all done. We were just waiting for it to be mixed and mastered and whatnot. It came to like June and July, and we were just like, there's no point putting it out while there's no shows and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And then it was just a case of, do we release it just for ourselves, or what options have we got? Where do we go from here? And then Ruction just kind of came up in conversation, really. And I spoke with Toyin, about that. And I think it was just a case of Toyin liaising with Pierre really, and just going from there.
And who is Toyin? Is he?
Toyin is he's our manager. He runs Ghostfest, what used to be Ghostfest.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, that was huge, man, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm speaking for myself. Right? I'm not too knowledgeable with like putting out releases and stuff like that. I'm just learning from when we put out our first release. It's all just a learning curve for me. So we've got Toyin to obviously help us with things like that as well.
Obviously, merging the two together is only a good thing, and I hope it works out for both the label and yourselves, like going forward. And I just wanted to just obviously let people know that when the release does drop, because there isn't actually an official date as of yet, but the two first EPs will be on this new release as well. So that's something for people to look forward to.
We've got all three on there, actually. We're putting all three on. Yeah, just as a bonus, really. Just really, I guess it's so people can just kind of maybe see the progression as we've started, really, from then till now.
Those released were there, and there's actually a pretty cool thing as well, because they already had some physical releases. Did Guillotine do some for you?
Yeah, Guillotine put out the first EP. Did they do the second EP as well, Ollie?
No, Hollow Crown was second.
Was it?
They did it. The first one we released with Guillotine, and they did I think it was about 200 CDs or something, and they sold really quickly. For the second EP, we released it on cassette through Hollow Crown Records.
Oh yeah.
And the third one was a self-release, and we did it through Rising Merch, which is where you can get our merch from as well.
Oh, nice. That's excellent. So yeah, I mean, so even for people who are massive fans of your band or collectors as well, they'll be able to get all three of them together, or people who never actually had the chance to pick up those particular releases, but now they can all have it on one sort of like streamline thing, on one CD or whatever you're going to be releasing it physically.
I think the release of this album is the perfect timing for you guys. You've done your 3 EPs now, so now you've got a big body of work.
Yeah, man.
To take you to that next level, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, man. We're honestly, man, we're absolutely stoked, because hands down, we would not be playing this style of music if it wasn't for Ruction, and that's, the God's honest truth. Like the first, I think I picked up the Knuckle Dust, was it Dustography? I think I picked that up from Ruction, and that is literally what got me into. I'd never heard that style, man, that London style, do you know what I mean, man? Like 9 Bar and Knuckle Dust, and I was just like, shit, that's fucking sick, man. So to now be able to put something up through Ruction, which I would never have thought we'd have ever done, is just unbelievable, man. Like, so stoked.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you and Ruction are doing it, and as well is because back in the day, I mean, not to say that it's not the case now, but London and the North had a really strong connection, so I'm glad that you've got a London-based label working with a Northern band, and just strengthen them ties, man.
York Titan Street Soldier team up with Ruction Records to present Turn Dangerous, a new 6-track EP coming soon.
Pull out your knife and get out your gun. I tell you this now, you're the crew.
Featuring 6 brand new tracks, Turn Dangerous will also include the 9 tracks from their previous 3 EPs. And with a new merch drop coming soon, look out for Street Soldier with Turn Dangerous on Ruction Records.
Can we just say, where'd that name come from, man? We never saw the film?
No. Street, so it came, like I said, I've been playing guitar for like 20 years, man. I was playing a lot of acoustic guitar around 2015, and my mate, Little D, who went by the name of Kicks, like he's like a rapper, like kind of does like a bit of grime, bit of rapping. We kind of had like an acoustic rap kind of project going on, and he had a song called Street Soldier, and it's taken from there, mate. Really, that was it. I was like, that's cool, mate. Yeah.
I've got to drop this in. So one time, obviously, was having a conversation about bands and that, and your name come up, but Wemmer forgot the name of your band, and he called you guys. Remember that, Steve?
Wives of
the classic Wemmerism.
The thing is, I think we wanted to like progress it on a bit and like say, yeah, Waymer, Foot Soldier, yeah, and then hopefully a little bit down the line he'd start calling you Foot Locker.
You know what? You got to do a release called Wives of the Street Soldier.
Yeah, man, that would
be sick. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That'd be jokes, man. So you've mentioned already, Scotty, and of course, Ollie, COVID has put a damper on a lot of the stuff. I mean, obviously for us as a band as well, Ironed Out, we've recently put something out and we'd love to be able to tour and to play shows and that. But next year you've got a tour scheduled with TRC. Was that something that you spoke to them? Did they hit you up, or was it something that went through management?
Yeah,
or something?
They actually, it was, so I think it was the drummer. I think they've got all new members now, haven't they? But the drummer, I can't remember his name, but he messaged us. I think it was a Street Soldier Facebook, just saying that they want us to do a few shows with him. So yeah, it was that was it. He just messaged us, and we were stoked, man, for that to happen. So yeah, as easy as that, really.
That's a really good tour, man. That's a really good lineup.
It's a good fit.
And again, TRC, I mean, when that, Northwest Kings, when that was like, that EP was like fucking amazing. So again, to be able to like tour with a band who we've got a lot of influence from is just sick. It's amazing.
So yeah, just rounding up, just wanted to ask, what do you guys hope to achieve and to get out of? What's the next level for the band? Where do you hope to be in the next, say, maybe 5 years or 10 years down the line?
For me personally, if we could just get to a stage of playing festivals, man, just like going over, well, when we can go overseas and stuff to Europe, just playing festivals, man, like I'll be happy with that, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we might all have different views of what we want, but what about you, Ollie?
Just to be comfortable with it, man. Like, I've no intention of being a rock star. I just want to play my music with my friends, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, I'll have those memories for the rest of my life, man.
But Scotty, you just mentioned about playing festivals, and I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be playing Fest this year, innit?
Yeah, we are playing. It's got rescheduled now. We are, and I think their intentions is to try get all the same bands to play next year, basically. But I think obviously some bands won't be able to. So yeah, we're playing next year. So absolutely stoked for that, man. Yeah, but just festivals like that, mate. I'll be happy with playing festivals like that.
Before, I was going to say, to Scott, man. I see you do like I see you said you was into ska and that, like just before the end and that. I see you playing something and singing. I was quite impressed, man.
Oh, Fatty Boss, man.
So for those listening, Scott, during the lockdown period, done his own sort of like, what would we call it? Sort of like skinhead.
Mate, what do you call it? I mean, I got all my influence from like the skinhead kind of period of like, late 60s, early 70s, like the Rude Boy, like the original fucking skinhead shit, man. Yeah, and it was just Trojan Records, basically, mate.
But you do have a Facebook page and that, so if anyone wants to check it out, it's
man.
Boss Man.
It was kind of started through lockdown, man, and I was gonna like bring out like a record for that and stuff, but I've been too busy with this like Turn Dangerous shit, so I have to concentrate on one thing at a time, man. So I'll probably pick the guitar up and do some more stuff like after this release, I reckon.
Right. So Scott, Ollie, any final words before we kick out of here?
Obviously not.
No, just thanks for having us, man. Just the record. I know we've not got a release date yet, but it is going to be out in 2020. So make what you want of that. It'll be probably mid-December time that we're putting it out.
It'd be nice.
How many tracks is it,
people?
It's 3. No, it's not 3. It's 6 tracks, man. Originally it was 3, but then we just kept writing, and then songs just kept happening, and we turned into 6 tracks, man. So yeah, six songs.
Ollie, any last words, mate?
First of all, thanks for having us, lads. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
And I'd just like to give a quick shout out to a few bands, if that's cool.
Of course you can, mate. Yeah, go for it. This will be
Vendetta, HC, Malign, and Right Hook. You should go check them out because they're all awesome.
Just on that note, Vendetta are the most fucking underrated band I've heard. They are so
unbelievable.
They are
mate.
so fucking sick, man, and they're just pure fucking hardcore, man. Check them out.
Yeah, they're nice people, man. I do talk to Tom quite often, the newest singer of the band. And Gavin, the drummer, I've known him not for a long time, but a good couple of years now. Like, they are definitely nice people. And we've played a couple of shows in my other band, Last Orders, and they've always been very supportive of us as well. And they are nice people. So, like, yeah, massive shout out to them. Street Soldier, all the way up from York, the original Bully Bashers. Step up and get clapped in the face. You heard? One time. So, yeah, thanks everyone for checking out, obviously, the latest episode. You can obviously check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and obviously we have our podcast, which is on Spotify and all the other available streaming sites where you can check us out, obviously including iTunes as well. So thank you to everyone. We want to say see you later. Goodbye. Should we all do in unison? See you later, everyone.
You're listening to the Everyone But Us podcast, straight from the heart of London.
Clap them face, 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 clap them face.